Hello, friends, back to my channel. Today, we will continue to explore the next part of this adventure and miracle story. Suddenly, the red dragon and black god occupied my mind, leaving Izzy unaware that in times of danger, the red dragon and black god still wanted to avenge me. He carries the essence of time on his back, an integral part of his future plans. The time is ripe, and now, the Fish Maiden's energy surges as if she's on the brink of nirvana. Subsequently, he slowly raises his gaze. A door of indescribable nature opens above him. The celestial door signifies their only path to breaking the shackles of destiny. They stride through the dusty red roads, stepping onto their destined path. Currently, the grand door looms before him, vast and silent, as if suppressing millennia. Meanwhile, the Diamond Sutra of the Earthly Libra risks shattering, unleashing an eternal blow. The large, glaring eyes of the Earthly Libra, a rarity of unwavering righteousness. His body shattered, a disbelieving expression etched on his face. He still can't fathom the return of the demon emperor in the sky, unscathed by his eternal strike. But time seems to prevent his complete dissolution into the heavens. He has come to realize, not just unwilling to accept the truth. Who would have thought I would be responsible for the laws of time against this eternal assault with ease? Yet, she regards her opponent as a mere war trophy. Her gentle laughter seems to transport her back to the past, feeling a resistance between her body and the sky, finding everything perfect. Every time time-space is disrupted, it leaves traces. Overuse may leave a past behind. This is certainly the biggest weakness and acceptable range of breaking time-space. At this moment, she senses something. Like a distant right arm, a bright halo continuously fades and morphs, falling onto his right hand. The halo is no longer intact, but the crack on it is still evident. Also a rare item with straightforward protection properties. Normally inspiring divine energy, the Fish Maiden also receives it, transforming it into a small finger, which he naturally turns into a ring on his finger. Undeniably extraordinary, the Fish Maiden slightly raises her mouth, perceiving the cool touch at the tip of her finger, all while the ethereal essence is tranquil and serene. They notice the dull silver hue, contrasting with the dark aura, as her figure remains unchanged, leaving everyone bewildered. But surely, the eternal strike of the Earthly Libra has no effect. At the distant edges of space, the ruler of the samsara, seldom witnessing events, continuously startles, releasing its national secret, eyes fixed on that image. The door above his head emerged after a moment of thought, and he felt his blood pressure rise. Perhaps the heavenly gate appeared to escape danger. Although not described beforehand, there is only one possibility after some thought. After a deep sigh, the ruler of samsara couldn't see regret instead, a star appeared. Just as it should be. How could a celestial like the Hong Emperor fall under the eternal strike? The ruler of samsara slowly turns away. A light chuckle is heard. Now, you're worth pursuing. But at this moment, a smile appears on his lips, along with Y2U, noticing the space freezing, with only that vast door remaining. The subtle sound of nature makes him feel at ease. Unexpectedly, the sound of the quietly closed door echoed, opening a gap, only to hear a powerful voice, and suddenly, a brilliant light shone through to the sky, revealing the figure of the God King. The power that opened the sky, the resounding roar shook the sky into a strange formation, and in his hand, he held a giant axe, surely the embodiment of the ancient ancestral god race, as he looked at the familiar figure. Resignedly, I have a grudge against the god race, why not smile? Unable to restrain the power of his soul is rapidly increasing, a terrifying breath spreading in the sky, causing the stars to tremble. Just a few breaths of the female fish's breath at this moment have reached the level of the ordinary Supreme Lord. Breaking through the heavens is just one Supreme Lord. Overturning humans can only be the second Supreme Lord, but it is still not enough to destroy the sect. And with the presence of two parallel breaths symbolizing equal power to the legendary tree, it seems destined for a god tribe person who has just defeated the sword heaven sword target but now wants to kill this divine tree, which is sacred. The golden flames covering almost make others unable to look straight, and at this moment, a miraculous living light from afar points towards him, a legendary weapon. Even though he is just a lost soul, it is true that Y2Do feels a hidden, terrifying pain. The opportunity silently thinks that he will not retreat. The mirror reflects something vaguely opening what chains release more terrifying power in his body starts to activate. And now he clearly starts to join hands, but then the sky around Y2Do at the center continuously emits divine connecting threads. A series of yellow threads after another yellow thread. as if entering the spine but running straight into the light inside. But what surprises everyone is that the light suddenly sets the connecting threads firmly, then a sudden, uncountable scream. They did not expect the Demon King could not be stopped, but then the connecting thread was cut across, turning into more divine connecting threads. This is the fishery power that Y2Do perceives only as a common power, but now has understood and enhanced. Now looking far, the yellow connecting threads spread across the sky like a huge yellow network, and Y2Do in the center of the network. A minute's thought changes as endless divine connecting threads run straight to the primitive figure of the god. But at this moment, a sudden battle opens up a pioneering gateway with a light support many times more terrifying. Countless yellow connecting threads are broken, facing the person holding a creative object in his hand, still missing a little, but Y2Do sneers a bit, bringing up an indifferent smile. Only to hear next is a resounding sound. A golden light beam drawn up. The main weapon of Y2Do has become more powerful, with 8 flying knives, each reaching a miraculous quality. This is the process of nurturing for hundreds of years and expanding into another space, helping to accelerate cultivation speed. Now 8 rays of bright light have split into male and female, and expanding into another space, helping to accelerate cultivation speed. Now 8 rays of bright light have split into male and female, creating thousands of miles of cracks. However, each is different. Only to hear next is a resounding sound. 8 rays of bright light are entwined with each other. Each flying knife is bound by a divine connecting thread in the attraction of the yellow divine connecting thread, like the extension of branches attacking from 8 directions into the illusory image. A resounding sound. Next is a strange battle, never before experienced through dozens of small planets. As time slowly passed, it seemed that the Demon Emperor was improving himself, not daring to destroy the illusory image. However, writers often see that the illusory image is just a temporary support, as a loud roar soon appeared. A distant sword stabbed straight into the illusory image, followed by a sword drawn by the sky, along with a golden magical link crossing as if intertwining, acting as a barrier that no one could pass through front and back of the great tree. Once again, explaining the significance of the universe's actions. With a loud noise, the golden magical link emitted a massive force, making the illusory image shrink more and more, as if wanting to disappear. Even Y2Do began to swallow his own image amidst a series of continuous screams. Many people saw various forces converging on the golden magical link, along with the terrifying force approaching. The Demon Emperor's long hair flew with increased power, hearing a voice from Y2Do's ear, slightly sneering. Countless people saw numerous forces lining along the divine training, constantly igniting terrifying actions. The Love Emperor, with long flowing hair, indeed exuberant, even the air was drawn up, the sound reaching the ears of the female voice knew, also slightly sneered. But then he lowered it again, just by raising his eyes slightly. The light in the painting's eyes saw the reflection of the starry water, all unopened doors. In the peaceful sound, personally raised his hand. Now he could start for me. Only his fingers emitted a bright streak. The lens also had a sword flying through space. 5 righteous swords also shot out, turning into a stream of 5-colored water, dragging the yellow water stream. Only heard the echoing sound, horrifying. Far away, the door called the Starry Sky suddenly opened. Then a larger crack also opened at this time. With his body behind the individual, the image of a brilliant door appeared behind him. At that moment, a powerful skill like thunder shook the sky. The crack of the door opened larger and larger, its existence becoming more and more faint, as if wanting to disappear. The door opening had ended. But for that individual, it was just the beginning. A powerful skill meant to open the door 5 times. He just needed one step back to climb to his own peak, a level that even the rulers of the world could not achieve for thousands of years. From afar, the crack of the starry door opened hazily. And inside, the sacred words shimmered as if hiding all the secrets in the world. This is the feeling of opening the sky door, feeling the energy constantly overflowing. A 5-level supreme ruler, even the deity of the angelic worship. However, a sudden huge storm swept the vast sky, shocking all beings of all species. And at that moment, they saw that figure disappear into the vast sky in just one breath. The elder of the celestial tribe could not contain his curiosity and discovered what it was. For the Love Emperor, there must be enough respect in the future. And waiting for the day the Love Emperor leaves that city as becoming the chairman of all species, that is the unanimous answer of the elders of the celestial tribe. The whole crowd of the celestial tribe listened quietly. And at this point, the individual has entered another space, the power continuously overflowing. This is the chairman of the sky door, a life full of surprises. Only then did the individual realize the true horror of the chairman, an extremely terrifying creature with unlimited potential. That is what truly dominates everything, as if he cannot bear it in the sky, just standing upright. No need for any tower to open the sky door, just a wave of his hand can sweep clean a small planet. Now it could be dozens of planets in one swipe. He effortlessly defeated the visible power emanating from his Huyat Dan can be seen by the naked eye. You can see a door overflowing with immense power. It's unknown how long the ancient tree has existed, but he discovered that his power could crush the sun and strike down into the abyss. The corner of the fish's mouth gently curves into a radiant smile. Now, he must adapt to the power behind him. He truly fears that a small mistake could wipe out the 5 elements and his companions. But the fish is nothing special. Ruling the Heavenly Gate is only one layer of the Heavenly Gate, and he rules the 5 layers of the Heavenly Gate because more spirit and strength, the accumulated air in the body, and the highest rules have returned. Making his entire body seem to swell in a blurry manner, he takes a deep breath. In an instant, his soul sinks into his body, and not long after, this space trembles. A type of power that cannot be expressed surges forth. Time passes slowly, a glance, and 10 years have passed. But that's just 10 years in the galaxy, while in another space, Wu Tu has experienced thousands of years. The ancient tree's roots, now turned silver and gray, are rooted in space, turning into silver and gray. In the silent flow of time, the branches bow and cause ripples in the water. After opening his eyes suddenly, the entire space is penetrated by an energy flow, his eyes shining with a loud noise. This space seems to be reborn. The sky expands on the spot, then takes a step out, a long and slender figure stepping from the divine tree canopy. Now, he alone, the 4 corners, shines like a bright moon surrounded by stars, and in the painting behind him. Surprisingly, inside, there are many ancient nations, countless gods and demons are about to clench their fists as if to crush a world. Looking up slowly, countless gods and demons seem to understand everything, even the space under the starlight. 10 years of the galaxy have passed. How so? The gentle sound is like a divine decree, making people shudder. The divine race, spatial magic, and many other techniques dominate the 5 layers of the Thien Mon. The body converts energy 7 times. One ability after another emerges. The fish looks intently without surprise, amazed at his current attributes. Space magic is immeasurable, along with 2 great abilities accompanying them under the stars. Who can cope with them? After a light laugh, he restricts his breath slightly, revealing a few layers of breath. But he thinks a bit. He still wants to control his breathing at 2 or 3 layers of breath. Dominating the 5 layers of the Thien Mon is too terrifying. And now, after thousands of years of cultivating spiritual power, compared to before unveiling the Thien Mon veil, at least 100 times more terrifying. Theoretically, the fish dominates the 5 layers of the Thien Mon. Spiritual power can increase by even 1,000 or 10,000 times, but even in another space, it's difficult to accumulate that spiritual power even while utilizing time for training. But this is enough. After a light laugh, he doesn't pay much attention to these details. Although spiritual power has only increased slightly, he feels continuous enhancement every second and minute. This transmission process seems to have no end until one day he can reach the limit of the 5 layers of the Thien Mon. Thinking here, the corner of his mouth lifts slightly. He looks towards the Thien court, hoping for some achievement, a complete great ability, the 5 elements revolving formation, which can reverse the 5 elemental elements, even destroy everything. After a few days of battle, it ends. The ancient tree wins, beginning to greedily admire the artwork he has obtained. He sighs helplessly. Wu Tu also knows that it is difficult for him to cultivate this great ability because even the lowest threshold for practice requires great physical strength. The water spirit heavenly body and others, although such large divine bodies cannot compare to the supreme position of the Nin order. The advantage of the heavenly spirit divine body is that it requires a celestial decree, something that cannot be achieved later unless there is a shocking method. Thinking of the 5 Emperor Celestial Palace, the motivating work of the Celestial Palace at that time is still not ready. It's just that they are not celestial but post-celestial. Therefore, cultivating to the great achievement in Nam Quang is not the goal of Y22. That does not mean that your constellation cannot cultivate this celestial palace has the Emperor's martial arts. The Emperor's painting cannot have 5 painting emperors. This teacher can be the foundation of the painting emperor through generations. One day can mimic the celestial palace, of course. Du hopes to be able to step out of the capital alone to successfully cultivate. His gaze shifts to another cultivation method. A method he stole from the ancestor of the divine beast. A very frightening method. Named the creative force, the foundation of the power of the divine beast ancestor used his entire life to create the model of a great cultivation method, and that cultivation method is also very famous, called the divine creative force just created. All divine beast tribes are at risk of destruction. The ancestor was attacked for this reason. The first Xian of the human emperor tribe started the battle for the heavenly path, and the divine beast ancestor created this method also for that reason. To open up a new universe, but also because of this method, the divine beasts faced the twilight of the heavenly path, giving birth to the divine beast era, a supreme existence of the divine beasts. And the divine beast era opened up a great cultivation method every time it was applied. All divine beasts will face the final twilight, harboring the secret of the great destruction of the world. But unfortunately, when the opponent applies the pure righteous life finally breaks open. Destiny found an opportunity to survive, so this cultivation method is creative life. There is a bit of legendary radiance. Speaking of this, Y2Do looks at this cultivation method also shining a ray of hope. The state like the divine creative force is still not easy to approach, at least not at the present time. Naeem too also buried this divine knowledge in the deepest place in his mind. Perhaps one day needs to smile in his heart. Also know now is the time to go out with 2Do. Thinking extremely is also standing up to take a step. Just hearing a roar, the space revolves. The image of Y2Do disappears somewhere in space, and when he appears again the sky suddenly resounds. Thunder resounds throughout the system, the sun like the top of the food chain. The horror from the lower layer of the pyramid immediately devours the strong, but at that moment, amidst the astonishment of countless strong people, a certain figure appears that no one knows when looking at it. A familiar breath. A strong person recognizes something. Their faces all appear unbelievable and unfamiliar. More than 10 ghostly images have burst into space to the large tree that disappeared 2.5 years ago. Return with the terrifying power of the universe. The cries of the 10 great spirits and the various monstrous creatures ring out in the sky, shaking the stars. The master you finally returned, clenching their teeth with unending joy, unable to stop sparkling. I do not know when a certain hand lightly touches the corner of the eye, wiping away the tears, only then looking up and saying a sentence. Have returned. Suddenly there was a loud noise. Indeed, making Y2Do feel excited. The children are truly worried, especially the golden princess who has returned. Do not know when, just standing silently on the side, trembling under the gentle laughter, he also takes another step forward. Heading towards the heavenly realms to invite guests, the chaotic time turns upside down. He, along with 9 others, arrive at the Palace of Love in the theme court amidst the 4 seas simultaneously. Y2Do pays attention to the 9 others, each of them leading in an instant, leading them here. What kind of method is this? Even Sun Wukong is surprised. The master has already ruled the theme Mon, hasn't he? After the female Yi breath, Nu also emits the breath of the first ruler. As the female Yi breath, Nu also emits the breath of the first ruler. As the female Yi breath, Nu also emits the breath of the first ruler. If you don't mind, I will not leave. Listening quietly. The master of the sword gently raises his sword, his face showing a hint of hopelessness. Finally, that day has come. In his despair, he also looks towards the distant alliance of the 5 major forces, unsure if it brings blessings or disaster, and in the swirling space of blessings or disaster, he is uncertain. If you don't hide that hand, it's definitely not your master, which means ruling for at least 3 days, or even 4 days, which is quite scary. It suppresses your inner fear because your master is very nervous. Eternal destiny is proclaimed, causing the 9 others to forget what they are looking at, their eyes wide in disbelief. While they look at each other, the one standing on the throne slightly raises his lips, evoking a bit of finesse. A crisp laugh, Y2Do has pulled towards the thunderbeast old man Ku. The fighting family of the 6 Lin Ki also couldn't keep up. Not even my breath could endure. He has always responded on his face, showing a little determination. The master understands. A gentle breath, Y2Do's eyes also turn to look at the others. Their hearts instantly turn cold. The fire goddess Ixia, each of them truly belongs to the 5 elements. Laughing lightly, Y2Do also raises his hand, the 5 rays of light from the palm flying out, thinking that they will absorb it. This is the legacy that I pass on to you, which can be passed on to future generations. If you can become better, they will combine into a great magic. You can blend them to create a great magic. They feel excited on their faces, then bow together to thank Y2Do, nodding their heads, his eyes turning back to the 9 others, announcing that they will find them later. But at this moment, as if remembering something, his right hand releases a chaos, which is a fragment of the secret of the theme court. Back then, closing his eyes to see if there is a suitable item. After giving a simple command, he truly feels an opportunity from a distant space to this man, who has hidden for some years. His power also becomes more powerful. Never thought that there would be a visit from the big brother, and now Y2Do has broken the theme mon. Every action is being watched, perhaps by the Dragon Clan and others, but the only thing that catches his attention is a somewhat familiar breath. Ni Trong comes in a personal way, Ni Nam Trung, raising an eyebrow slightly. The real worry of the girl, if there were no troubles, the elders of the Phoenix clan would surely reprimand him for coming so far, from thousands of miles to the Palace of Love to see the Love Emperor personally. Just thinking about Y2Do, he seems to see the displeased face of the Phoenix strategy. Thinking of that laughter, he also orders a warm welcome to the distinguished guests in unison. Shindoi, Nu Ma and others have also understood the intention of the Demon King. Not long after, Y2Do stood upright on the throne. Underneath, the envoys came to visit in a solemn atmosphere. All eyes were on the beautiful figure. The radiance covered the outskirts, a light, thin fabric covering the face. The truly charming figure without a flaw. Y2Do politely bows, beginning to converse with the envoys as the host. They inquire about the situation of Y2Do, but there is no need to ask. He regards everyone as imposing. I am now the second-tier ruler of the Thien Mon. Perhaps now I have the right to become the head of the alliance. Right in his unhidden words, Ni Trong is the first to stand up. The Demon King is the head of the alliance. We must be ashamed, not just the Phoenix clan and Dragon clan, but even I, the host, must be ashamed, certainly said Ku Yulongha. Then Ku Yulongha also stood up in the Dui Han. Tu-Du, with a glance, gives a nod, his eyes turning to the 9 others. Remember that we will find them later, as if recalling something. His right hand lets loose a chaos, which is a fragment of the secret of the Thien court back then, closing his eyes to see if there is a suitable item. The part of the spoils from the Thien court. According to the information that Ku Yu has just transmitted, it seems that the Thien court still has a divine tree, making him think of the divine peach tree. One of the 10 divine trees, although not as good as the divine Bodo tree, has a miraculous effect that is enough to shake people's hearts. Naim too has also entered the southern part and has gone to the deepest part of the land. And right after that, he appears in a peach blossom forest. The mist fills the air, not long after a sudden call. The golden monkey has come to greet the woman in the hands of YT, looking at a divine tree not far away. How is this divine tree at this moment? The golden monkey showed clear emotion. In a moment, it seems like they have noticed the situation. The golden monkey has arranged his emotions. Do you know, at first, the Thien court attracted countless high-level masters to participate because of the magic. Although the divine peach tree cannot help with cultivation and does not have terrifying magic, it excels in extending lifespan. Know that even a 6th-level giant's lifespan is limited. But with the divine peach tree, everything will be different. If used regularly, contact with the divine peach tree not only extends lifespan with the sky and earth but can also become a big tree person, bringing the treasures of the Thien court. Even wanting to organize a divine peach tree gathering in the future. You can blend them to create a great magic. They feel excited on their faces, then bow together to thank Y2Do, nodding their heads, his eyes turning back to the 9 others. Fear is not only for the strong but also for the difficulties as time passes without breakthroughs. It's no surprise that there is news of the Divine Peach Tree Guild every 3,000 years. After speaking, his eyes begin to glow. The treasure is truly wonderful. With this divine tree, Ku Vi, Nu Ma, and the others can rest assured. The golden monkey also licks his lips, saying, Master, you now understand the value of a divine peach tree, don't you? YT also understands that she needs to take better care of it. But at this moment, the golden monkey also reminds me, I suggest you not awaken the divine peach tree. The final divine peach fruit of the divine peach tree will ultimately be harmful. If its natural energy is damaged, it could even create 2 stars with us. That's a major variable. YT listens quietly, her face turning serious. The situation seems truly like that. Although he doesn't care much, everyone following him must go through the divine peach. With a deep sigh, the fish also nods in agreement. Rest assured, I will not awaken it. With such a gesture, along with the formidable sharpness, the pen stabs into the living world. He also leaps into the world with a step onto the space of the small world. Looking at this center, the fish also raises the divine peach tree, only hearing a loud bang. The divine tree high above falls from above, life bursting forth to cover it. The divine peach tree continues to grow and die under the pull of the divine tree, the path to the peach blossom forest beginning to emerge. Although the number of peach fruits increases significantly, the quality of the linked fruits also decreases by a lot. But the fish can accept it. In the end, the peach fruit only blooms every 1,000 years. After a deep breath, the care is certainly. Still need to carefully nurture the irrigation water must be the water of life, sometimes need to add a little elemental water finally. How will the difference of this divine tree be expressed? But who will come to take care of it? Just a glimpse. The woman pressed her lips, raised her eyebrows gently, smiled elegantly except for the void scriptures. The other 8 elemental souls have nothing to do, and the peach forest is the largest source of the devil's lair for outsiders to look after. They will come differently. The woman in white robe exchanged for 8 elemental souls discovered that the small group had escaped. Now the plan is shrouded in a snowstorm where the coldest person is the Grand Master of Snow. After that, the eyes turn to another figure. The whole body image bathed in light is like the Lin Nu, revealing the Nok ethnic group, truly the holy woman among the holy women. The man has completed the mission after so long but does not know behind his back are the forces that are evolving covertly. Ye too do will continue the theme after a moment. Take good care of the 8-soul peach forest. The elemental souls respond in unison, exchanging serious looks. It is then that the spirit tiger within the elemental souls also speaks up. The owner of this peach forest has something strange. Mr. Fish raised his eyebrows to explain that this is a peach forest painted by the peach deity. If you know about the divine peach tree, you should also know the significance of the spirit peach forest. Take care not to make any mistakes. Do you understand? He then orders the elemental soul you too do to reverse his form. Venture beyond the 9 realms, and not long after, some news causes him to raise an eyebrow. It concerns the 4 alliances, with news related to the Dragon Clan, Buddha Sect, Divine Clan, and Phoenix Clan all offering support. The president raised his sword lightly, his face showing a hint of hopelessness. Finally, that day has come. In his despair, he also looks towards the distant alliance of the 5 major forces, unsure if it brings blessings or disaster, and in the swirling space of blessings or disaster, he is uncertain. But if it weren't for the host, I wouldn't have gone out and listened quietly. Chairman Jian also showed an expression of hope. Why not? In a painful smile, the master's voice came back. I don't want to. Now, I have received the inheritance. And to become the inheritor of the most terrifying diaphoretic hall. But now I am forced to breathe through. If the master finds out, he will surely be angry. The face becomes serious. The master ignores the persuasion of the fellow brother to leave. Yet in the entirety of the leader's life, they also chose to depart in the midst of serene breaths. At this moment, a voice came from the bottom of the vortex. Don't excite the footsteps of the demon emperor. The lord of the sword sect, who was gradually stagnant, understood from a distance that not only the sword sect but also other forces knew. In a rare conversation, no one sat down quietly to attack the higher-ups. The answer was that Laozi watched the incident quietly, while in a chaotic corner, Quanping's big leaf arm raised its lips. Amidst the silent shadows hidden in the mist, a voice of mockery rises. The ancient Thien Din that once stole the heritage of our ancient Thien Din now faces a fitting end. In that moment, he himself opens his mouth to ask Yu Hoang, how is he? The power is truly terrifying, and more importantly, the Supreme Master amidst the chaos has acknowledged him. The entire chaos becomes peaceful, but that figure is full of hope. The talent of the great arm of the Konbang tribe complements the Dragon tribe. Surely, they have become so friendly with the Phoenix tribe. As the figures floating in the chaos are all looking to the side, it's time to decide. The sudden question changes their mood. In silence for a moment. Great thoughts have been passed on to Bang Nhi. You should go explore. Just a few hundred years since the weapon fragments were stolen, after the Great Battle, they have attracted a large part. And at this time, the fairy on the throne of the Fairy King is rare to be practicing after another. Energy continuously flows to him through the spider web behind him. He uses the fat black then to twist his branches into a continuous space, drawing in power. In a horrifying explosion, the entire palace is engulfed in pressure, causing the gentleman of Sao Fa to not want to come close. But at that moment, the fairy slowly opens her eyes, her gaze stopping at the broken weapon, the Vong Kim Kang, tilting herself with exquisite spiritual power in transformation. Water can't burn, fire can't catch me. His eyes are a bit dreamy. Not surprising when wearing this golden weapon, he can feel the body being nourished. It turns out that this golden weapon can nurture a spiritual power, even if it's broken, it can still nourish the body. Intend to give this weapon to Thatch Din Su to have him remake it with the 9 celestial metals. And in that way, with the position soon to become the leader of his own alliance, his face lights up with a smile as he takes out a piece. A black smoke, a white smoke that makes the palace mysterious. Two vital energies, yin and yang, one yin and one yang, like two fish, chasing each other. This is a fragment of the image of Tai Kuk divided into 3 parts. Having received 2 pieces of Thien Din, truly a consecutive gift. UNHI smiles, also very pleased. It seems that even in UNHIS whispers, there is an expectation. If there is a weapon from the earth, that would be even better. As if feeling something, Y2Do also frowns a bit. The great arm of the Konbang tribe in a blink surpasses the starry sky straight to Yu Din. And at that moment, from deep in the sky, a majestic voice resounds. Not knowing why the great arm of the Konbang tribe has come here, please accept this. Upon landing, he notices a figure approaching, which is Yu Hoang opening the gates of heaven. In his heart, a sound rumbles for the first time, truly exploring countless examples of convergence. Even time can't keep up. Pulling out a series of compulsory waves, standing firm, the figure with blonde hair bows down respectfully. Meeting Yu Hoang's gaze intently, the eyes of the fairy slightly narrow, finally he understands. He says how can he master such great magic in such a short time? The main reason is that this great magic follows the principles of yin, yang, and light that are fair to the end. Yin is a mysterious defense that no one can match, and such a tremendous magic requires a body, sun or moon. But the body of the yin-yang celestial birth and the body of the 5 elements celestial birth are rare. Only one woman in millions of years can do it. This woman belongs to the Konfang tribe. She has given birth to this body, and at this moment, a Thien Qiu speaks to the great master Yu. The lineage has transformed me into a Konfang too. Listen, Tu Konfang can't help but feel excited. It seems they really value you, giving you the opportunity to steal the scent. Polite response. A single word from Tu Konfang can't help but be excited. But before he finished speaking, Y2Do urgently said the next sentence. For a while, he still patiently said, I am willing to be effective for a while. The respect of Yu Hoang changes to erase the vagueness on his face. And the ultimate benefit is the top 3, not only providing enough resources for your practice every month but also not restricting you. The doctor continues to narrate, he seems to be changing into a different person, the arm on the shoulder. But the absolute benefit is the power of the top 3, not only providing enough resources for your practice every month but also not having any constraints on you. The doctor clearly says, he seems to be changing into a different person, the arm on the shoulder. But he introduced himself and said that our dear adults belong to the clan of the ancient heavenly court. Recently, news from the Demon Court Imperial Master indicated that the Demon Court inherited the tradition of the ancient heavenly court. Therefore, with the support of the elders, I request a period of time to make the Demon Court smile. Y2Do can't decide on the owner's intention. This is really something to think deeply about. If the owner cuts our position today, Konbang too listens to Kim Hao say this. But before Kim Hao finished, Y2Do hurriedly said, not the next sentence. For a while, he still patiently said, I am willing to be effective for a while. The respect of Yu Hoang changes to erase the vagueness on his face. And the true welfare is indeed the power of the top 3, not only providing enough resources for your practice every month but also not having any restraints on you. The doctor clearly says, he seems to be changing into a different person, the arm draped over the shoulder. A president is clear, a potential stock has come to his knees. You could also say that this guy is just a boy, a very simple kind of boy. Although Konbang too tried to conceal it, he still recognized it. A man is clearly a rare leader, a potential stock has come to his knees. You could also say that this guy is just a boy, a very simple kind of boy. Although Konbang too tried to conceal it, he still recognized it. Are you sure you will stay in Yu Din? Then I will leave this to you. One day in Yu Din will belong to you. After saying that, Y2Do takes out a stone, the Bin Dao of Dia Bin Taiku, one black and one white, soaring into the air for a moment. In amazement, he can't believe that he has become dumbfounded. It is indeed the yin-yang celestial birth. Not sure if it's an illusion, after a long time of no progress, he woke up again wanting to challenge. But still not believing in between. In amazement, he can't believe that he has become dumbfounded. It is indeed the yin-yang celestial birth. Not sure if it's an illusion, after a long time of no progress, he woke up again wanting to challenge. But still not believing in between. Kunping gazed intently at the arrival of the 2 figures, then lightly wiped the corners of his mouth, smiled, and said, "As long as that person stops for a day over there, he will belong to you. This is not just a sweet dream, but also like a complete garden of dreams." He found it hard to leave, but with this balance of power, he still had not repaid his debt. This seemed predestined, but for To-do, turning a useless opportunity into a potential stock was a strong success. At that moment, he wondered about this fragment. Do you know where it originated from? Kunpeng understood that at this moment, the significance of this fragment was a theft from MIMI, a horrifying movement that cannot be described. Although this was just a welcome meeting for new employees, Bai Hu continued to speak ill of Kunpeng in front of the staff, changing his expression to realize something. Like a sudden realization, looking at the black and white fragment, the answer that Nu Tu had speculated about appeared on her head. He wiped his mouth, feeling his mind becoming heavy. Perhaps it's too terrifying, isn't it? But even more astonishing, Nu Tu raised something, and then a cracked ring began to glow brightly amidst the noise. This is the diamond ring of the heavenly palace. I don't know how it has provoked such anger from them, they even want to erase me. As he turned around, his face also added a color of unknown cleanliness. Then Nu Tu changed her drawing style, so this Earth Star sword can only become a ring of mine, a flaunt that left Kunpeng unable to answer. Even his mind became blurred. Master Yu truly has boundless power. Stammering, unable to contain himself as the rumors say, Master Yu has truly overthrown the heavenly palace. Even the Earth Star was taken. At this point, when Kunpeng saw this, he was even more amazed. To-do gently took his hand and their bodies began to twist. They took a step away from each other, and in an instant, they arrived at the palace of Master Yu. The employees and servants of Master Yu sensed the figure of To-do and greeted each other. After a while, To-do also ordered to inform Kui to prepare for the reception. A response, a maid had left to inform Kui. And not long after that, the Kong Bang Tu had organized a grand celebration. Even the white tiger was released. Anyway, he was good at communicating with others. In a daze, he approached the white tiger after some hesitation, looking at the brave white tiger. Kunpeng drank in one go. When you join the Love Palace, you become one of us. Answering throughout this process, he had drunk 12 bowls of wine with the white tiger. Kunpeng's eyes blurred, feeling intoxicated, saying that the Love Palace is not really bad. In the haze, he put his hand on the white tiger's shoulder, and the white tiger laughed and said, "Except for my master, everyone is not bad. You don't know, before when I was just a second or third master, the master used a stick to beat me. Now that I am a sixth master, he still uses a stick to beat me. I even started to doubt his strange preferences." Listening quietly, both Nu Tu and Kunpeng were surprised by the white tiger. This third master is truly special, not only Nu Tu. Like Kui Kim Hao and others all had strange looks. Remember, my master is very vengeful and not in a normal way. Hearing this, Nu Tu put down her wineglass. My master is very revengeful and not in a normal way. Hearing this, Nu Tu put down her wineglass. Looking towards Kui, asking how many more years he has left. When he hears the other's answer of 60 years, Nu Tu can't help but sparkle. When he wakes up after being drunk, tell him to add a few more zeros, then tell him that I truly remember the grudge of Ma Lao when serving as an official also had to conscientiously give up the position. This is to fulfill the mission of the previous life. Kui and everyone exchanged glances, a gesture that couldn't help but bring a smile. Bok Ho predicted that he would be angry again. But drinking alcohol is not a reason for bad behavior that can't control words, truly needs correction. With the temperament of the master, not caring about the future with other strong people, a mistake at a critical moment will be how. At this moment, Nu Tu is also slowly getting up with the surprise of Hong Hao. He has done well, unexpectedly appearing. They walked together on the narrow road. Kong Bang Tu is truly good. Now joining Ma Din is a precious addition for us. He is also a strong foundation behind us. Predicting that soon he will step into the position of Lord. When that happens, we can also consider ourselves as two true lords in Ma Din. We can truly rise. Listening silently, the mouth of Hong Hao also smiles a bit. This is truly a precious addition, but then ask what the owner wants to arrange for Kong Bang Tu. Why To-do can't decide on the owner's intention. This is really something to think deeply about. If the owner cuts our position today, Kong Bang Tu listens to Kim Hao say this. Also rarely revealing a bit of seriousness. Today Yu Din can't leave the position of your master. If it's not you, then who else? Laughs. Kim Hao then explains that even if he doesn't hold the position of master, he will still assist the owner like the 10 great animal gods. With the position of the first and second generation of masters, the first and second generation of masters will also be respected if Kon Bang too receives the position of master. I think this will be a good thing for him and Ma Din. Before, his ancestors used to be masters at the ancient Thien Din and the fame of the master of Thien Din. It can be said that the entire era of Ming Cave is inherited by the first generation, and the second generation will also be respected if Kon Bang too receives the position of master. I think this will be a good thing for him and Ma Din. Before, his ancestors used to be masters at the ancient Thien Din and the fame of the master of Thien Din. But what can be certain is that the demon court now tends to merge 10 mascots. When 10 mascots from a unified entity are added to the ranks of cultivators at each position of the demon court by a larger mascot, just like God's help. But Lord Hong does not care about the position of the master, even though he is precious. But one can know that Ma Din now has the tendency to converge the 10 beast generals. When the 10 beast generals unify under one banner, all positions in Ma Din will have a greater beast join in, helping practitioners like having assistance from a deity. But Hong Hao doesn't care about the position of master, although precious. He values more the future development of Ma Din to some extent. He is really not suitable to become a master. With his potential, becoming a lord is necessary and will benefit Ma Din, thus making the Kon Bang tribe connect with Ma Din. By then, Y2Do agrees with this view, just as he wants to remember something. He also looks at Hu Dao, hearing that another warrior has encountered trouble. While Kim Hao is also equally sensitive. And the peach tree has begun to bear fruit. When the peach tree bears fruit later, you can marry the peach to leave the 7 great gods. Quang Win is now equivalent to a tribe of Kon Bang. A terrible power. Listening silently, though Y2Do can't help but feel helpless, Hong Hao is truly a thoughtful person. After responding, he really doesn't refuse Kon Bang 2 is truly a good choice. Y2Do also speaks about some other issues, but all are about cosmic situations and the future development of Ma Din. Currently, because the Lord is the Lord of Thien Mon, all the tribes in the world are afraid of Ma Din. But the unmatched power of the Lord is not eternal. Sooner or later, there will be a successor. And at that time, even if he can't defeat the Lord, he can still use fire weapons or the potential of the earth to fight the Lord. So my proposal is that before the alliances have a prominent Lord, Thien Din should develop stronger. Kim Hao is slowly analyzing. Y2Do nodded in agreement with this view, just as if wanting to remember something. He also looked at Hu Dao, hearing that another sage was in trouble. Meanwhile, Kim Hao is also equally quick-witted. The situation seems like that if under the right person, it must be Tiu Du Tan Nguyen in the 7 great Tan Nguyen who can hold the sky in hand in the whispering words of Tiu Du Du. Y2Do also showed concern, however, at that moment. He immediately asked the other, how do you rate this god in Kim Hao's praising words? He admitted that it is necessary to meet directly to be able to evaluate, but compared to him, Tan Nguyen Tiu Du is just a small cow. So to deal with it, let Mak Nyat Dit. Y2Do lightly laughed, also recalling this little orphan who woke up the intelligent Tan Nguyen. Although currently Mak Nyat is very secretive in Thien Din, many years ago he has been near the 6 borders. How do you know I want to fight with Tan Nguyen Tiu bitch? Quite recently, the head of the dragon tribe has come in clearly according to his intentions. Tiu bitch is not scary. Scary is when the Tan Nguyen wakes up the bloodline of Tan Nguyen. As long as it is not dead, will have the opportunity to become the master. Therefore, the people of the dragon tribe just do not want to provoke someone. Could become the master in the future. Y2Do nodded gently in agreement. The legendary dragon of the Dechin is strong, but currently, despite the latest cultivation, the dragon tribe also does not want to cause trouble. Another person spoke about the relationship between Thien Din and Tan Nguyen. Even now, everyone knows about the geographical position of Thien Din. That is the famous reputation of Lang Lang Thong Nguyen, but Tan Nguyen Tiu bitch is really too arrogant. Not sure if it is arrogant or too confident according to the dragon tribe. That person is too arrogant, really need to suppress a bit. After a sigh from Hu Dao, there is also a comparison in the heart. Let Mak Nyat confront him, but this young man is the chief information officer of Thien Din, lacking training, and this time is not bad if lucky can be completely awake. Y2Do emphasized on his face full of hope. He and Kim Hao went to it cannot be described how excited countless hidden people kneel, making the spirit of their brothers shine. The image of the man kneeling on the ground, smiling, and not far from him is another image that he cares about. A face with 3 arms to catch the most mischievous little monkey. The man sent out 2 fierce and weird beasts after having many resources. The blood flow has completed the transformation into Lin Viet Tam Tu Quan. The legendary existence is no less powerful than the dragon tribe. That person has also stepped into the six borders while asking. Mac Nyat changed his gestures before the owner. How do you have time to come here? After a light laugh, he carefully looked at Mac Nyat at present. Even Lin Viet Tam Tu then Y2 Do directly mentioned the issue of Tan Nguyen Tiu Bitch. Finally the wish of the dragon tribe. I can't refuse either, but I think you should understand. Mac Nyat also smiles willingly, surrendering. Y2 Do expressed high appreciation. It is true that Tan Nguyen is intelligent. Y2 Do is also a visionary. Tam Do Kuyan Alamji. You also follow Go. Not long after simply handing over intelligence they go to Tin Kong Truyan Tong Man. Today, both of them are transformed into human forms on their faces. The more they are with a mysterious mask, they give them a gift, which for this mask, it is the image of 9 generals, the soul of the great demon. Why give it to them? Suddenly, to take care of the two brothers. The desire of women towards the two shadows is also filial. The big snake seems to be cold, but with Da and they, it's great, nodding towards them. The golden monkey beside also admits that the big snake is truly cold to me and the big sister, but for these two brothers, it's like the big brother to Da. Thinking about this, then give orders, let them inform the big snake they will go to practice later. Kim Hao on one side also agrees with Dai Exa. The other's name is really facing us and Dai Tai. They are both Ice Bing Bing. But facing these two brothers is like facing senior brother. Y2 Do thinks so. Assigns you to wait a bit longer to inform the brothers and sisters of Dai Exa to go elegantly. A slight smile on Y2 Do's face. Today, what wind has brought you here? I am here to congratulate the Fairy King and also want to meet an important person. Now I am having difficulty. Please teach me a smile in my heart. Where does this girl come from? The angel queen of the angel tribe. The red angel today is the great record of the Yudin country, the head of Yudin. And shortly after, this strong and powerful beauty kneels before the image of Y2 Do. Gently between the soul hand, a smile on Y2 Do's face becomes even more radiant. Today, what has brought you here? I am here to congratulate the Fairy King and also want to meet an important person. Now I am having difficulty. Please teach me a smile in my heart. Y2 Do also said, I am also practicing in the small world of life after the flower falls. I don't know when a green whirlpool has opened in the palace. It actually reduces the fear in the heart and is also surprised. This is the legendary Thap Kujoy. Looking intently at Yu Hoang, tall and towering in the royal seat, he steps up right after the other party enters. Not long after, the unwilling woman shakes her head, a woman really annoying. Then a beam of light shoots out, turning into a person. This man loves another woman. Never thought of igniting a battle in another interview. Time passes by in the blink of an eye. She has been here for many days as if she never left, deep in prayer in the world of light. The intense glory continuously gathers, the more sacred to the extreme in the head. Recalling the uprising, lamb seems to understand what the light means is dazzling, but this is life deep in the small world. The tail quietly stands on a path. Wearing on the back 600 million images behind, smiling softly behind him also shows a pensive look. The owner looks very difficult to deal with, glancing at one as reluctantly. The face is thinking how to quickly leave this place is good. But it seems that Lamb this time has become short-sighted. There are many questions that are not finished, but in a moment of silence Y2 Do headaches with a soft brow. There is guidance from the teacher. It is true that temporarily agree. Then Kudoi also slowly leaves just because from a distance there is a light. Y2 Do smiles and steps closer to Lamb, and at this time in Daihung prison, a monkey in a yellow robe, wearing a crown and holding a stick is indifferent. Then Kudoi also slowly leaves just because from a distance there is a light. At that time Ca Vong smiles and walks towards Lamb, and at this moment in Dong Dai Hin prison, a monkey in a yellow robe, wearing a yellow hat, holding a stick calmly. What catches one's attention is his arm covered in divine light, as if possessing unparalleled power when swinging the staff, creating a strong wind that shook even the clouds on the planet, along with a terrifying thunderous sound. A spiral of black clouds, hard to describe, focused on his head. Now we have the celestial city above, who can stop us on earth? Just at that moment, from afar, 2 figures arrived, both wearing mysterious masks. Is this the sealed divine? Whispered silently in his heart. The green mountain silhouette also looked towards the border of the great dragon sea, the ruler of the sea and stars. Although only a central dragon, its power cannot be underestimated. Looking towards the distant shadow of the Dragon King, he exuded a sense of awe, a divine deception originating from sudden powerful forces on this planet, gradually entering 6 streets with impressive power. What angered this Dragon King the most was that he had caused chaos in the Dragon Palace. But now, the staff in his hand is the divine object of the Dragon Palace, named the Golden Diamond Needle. The armor and crown he wore were all silk garments collected by the Dragon King. So, for this Dragon King, this unexpected strength could be said to be anger and hatred. But at this moment, within him, a small dragon growled, already looking towards the powerful beings in the demon clan, suppressing the fear within. The Dragon King also said that a large army must be sent to occupy the territory, no longer tolerating this powerful ape demon. Under the command of many demon kings, perhaps he alone is not just a falling rain. That green mountain silhouette does not need to fall. In this Dragon King's world, a kick in the air triggered a series of shadows. The three-headed beast holding the golden diamond divine needle had caused a tsunami, and on Doomsday, thousands of dragon souls were amazed as darkness swallowed the earth. Everything turned black, and within that darkness, a majestic figure emerged, like a city with millions of silent images standing behind the rigid face. Thousands of dragon souls shuddered. This is the demon palace of the demon clan. Without stunning the dragons, with the sound of the primordial thunder, he raised the celestial staff and struck down, a strike that shook the heavens. But wielding the staff from tens of thousands of miles, like a mountain crashing down. And there was a cold laugh, a dark figure in black armor stepped out. This figure sneered, as a red and blue light sprayed from his mouth. The rolling light beam tore through the sky, breaking even the clouds, along with a terrifying thunderous sound. The heavens and earth had never known a path, only the relentless waves spreading. After a loud laughter, a bright light from afar, who dares to resist a blow from me? The answer is the young man also stepping out. I am the demon emperor of the demon kingdom, the career of the three demon dogs from hell. Then a thunderous roar shook the earth. A terrifying monstrous force appeared. This monster showed extreme cruelty. This three-headed beast's mouth also did not hesitate to sneer, turning out to be a demon under the Dragon Clan, with demon trees, demon beasts, and monsters divided into 3, 6, and 9 types. This is the dominance of the Dragon Clan, the lower-class demon beasts under the dominion of the Demon Clan. As for the demon Taoists in the Demon Palace, at this moment, suddenly in the whispers of this terrifying monster, a cold smile appeared, daring to compare demon beasts with him. You are truly seeking death. The climate is intensifying, the clouds on the planet turning black, in the deep eyes transforming into the deepest black, as if wanting to swallow everything. But really, the aura of the three-headed leaf path hell is like a rising little dragon, accompanied by the close movement of its breath from the visual hell, where a direct passage to hell can be seen, and vortices in the sky have begun to appear. Immediately after, a Lamji transformed into a fierce stream of light, rushing straight into the deep mysterious abyss. The powerful energy waves swept the surface of the celestial sphere, causing the sea to surge, just as a sudden roar echoed. Alang locked the light in his throat, as the meeting of lights brought with it a destructive pressure that froze the eyes, avoiding some subconscious traps. But then, a loud bang turned into a sudden stream of light piercing through the atmospheric layers. It was a strike of the three-headed demon Tao. If it were to fall on this planet, the world might evaporate in an instant. The owner of this planet, Trung Vei Chan Long, was also surprised beyond words, as the figure of Tan Sun seemed non-existent, with some comments even suggesting that Luke Fa Chan Long seems formidable. The woman only suggested cultivation, but she did not expect the power of this monster scheme to seize control, even though in this mysterious shadow, a cold and silent figure fell into tranquility. Alang still lacked combat experience, while the man carefully observed the battlefield. However, a closer look would surely reveal. Like a fake dragon shadow chasing with its own statue, even if an unfortunate event were to occur, it would be able to intervene in time. And just as Dalat Alang was repressing his subconscious, he was also dealing with Lan. Knowing that the opponent needed to focus on recovering the wings behind, Lan also chose to say goodbye. But he returned not to the heavenly dragon palace in the demonic palace but deep within the world of light, where there are laws of pure light. For an angel like him, that is the ideal place, although he is also planning to submit an application to the Demon Lord King. But that homage does not need to be mentioned, he knows he has to do it himself. People like the Demon Lord King will agree. A slight smile from the corner of his mouth, Lan chose to trust because he found his position seemed very high. His heart speculated a little, a light from the wings turning into a bright beam, and just as Lan left, his body suddenly. Feeling that the world of light was becoming stronger, his smiling heart understood more with each passing day. All the 9 great worlds obey the 9 original thoughts. Lan is currently cultivating, although it consumes a large amount of soul energy. That awareness has been inscribed in every article, every hand. The living system dominates the heavens and earth, recreating creation, not with soul energy but with an understanding of the laws and principles, thus constantly enhancing creation. The girl cannot help but ponder whether the sky is truly like that in the 9 worlds. To the sky, the ruler of the sky, even to eternity, the law is the nourishment of growth, so the sky allows living beings to evolve. But when evolution reaches a certain level, then it is necessary to suppress it deep in the imagination about Thien Dia Tin Tin, which could very likely be the great awakening of Thien Dia. Thinking about this, Y2Do looked deeply into the bright space and the small world, and the relationship with beings was certainly not simple. But the small world easily allows Lan Thatch to draw strength from the bright world, and the bright world relies on him for continuous growth. Laughing inwardly, Y2Do also felt the need to attract more beings. Only in this way could the 9 realms develop. Only with the 8 realms how could they be considered as a small city compared to Samsei. A light laughter was also the hope that opened up. It was just a defense that was unparalleled, but the most anticipated. It is still the day Thien Dia Chinjoy became a major event, making her smile after thinking about another door of hers, which is a gasification of the 3 souls. When thinking about that, he also wanted to find Keen Bang too. She intentionally revealed the secret of Thien Dia Ku Keen and conversed with the other party. A connection that should be spiritual and transparent, mutually supportive with the Grand Master of Communication. However, it is still not necessary after all this time. Keen Bang 2 is still not trustworthy, and after laughing inwardly, Y2Do also sank into a state of cultivation, selecting academic choices. Although it was only a single grand festival in Thien Din, the force of love began to simulate. In the roar of the dragon today, in the infinity of the dragon, he also shouted and turned around. On the other side, the green dragon of Thien Dao was also trembling in the horror, then took a step towards the direction of the white hair from the essence of Nu Tu Du appeared. The third body of Nu Tu Du compared to the 2 previous bodies. Just half a step into the gasification of the 3 souls, it was really useful. Laughing inwardly, he couldn't help but feel pleased when he became a great master of communication. It was a nearly stagnant speed that had made leaps and bounds. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly. Y2Do was advancing towards the outside of Kukin with 3 large bodies supporting him. His original body could also rest, while participating in handholding, which had been handed over to Kim Hao to handle, but he didn't know how to do it now. When he thought of this step, the image of Y2Do suddenly disappeared in Kukin under the call of the chorus to see Kim Hao and many other strong people all appearing here. He also nodded in response to the recent negotiation. Nagi Trong carried a slight dissatisfaction. You are really good when giving orders for us to work while you, Nu Tu do not care, smiling and saying, I see you are still free. And at this moment, a big peach was in the palm of his hand. Rong Han Long from afar seemed to recognize something. Their faces all had slight changes. That was the peach tree of Thien Din, and the last time I defeated Thien Din, I was able to win the divine tree of the peach tree. As the future leader, I felt the need to repay. So every 3,000 years, there is a peach blossom festival, but among those sitting there is one later. Then there are 5 more slots. Have you figured out what yet? Looking towards Nu Tu Du, the eyes of Nu Tu Du also became more unpredictable. The reason for the unification of the universe by the heavenly court is twofold. Firstly, to unify the list of gods to become one of the top 10,000. Secondly, the world's monsters and gods, such as Buddha and pottery, will allow them to occupy the position of the masters of the heavenly court. It seems that compared to the previous Tien Ding, there is not much difference, but Yu Yujun is not interested even though he agrees that he still has to devote his energy to maintain the balance between TND. If Hoang Yu really organizes the White Alliance League, it will accelerate significantly. The 9 Souls Dragon Shu Huan smiled lightly in joy that if successful acceleration would be the best thing. After speaking, the 9 Souls Dragon Shu Huan gently threw the peach blossom, fragrant and intense, into the air. The body seemed to be nourished. This is a 3,000-year-old peach blossom, one of over 20 that I have collected. Surely some means have been used. The floral fish Wa Lak Tu also waved his hand, taking one in his hand and one into his mouth. Wa Lak Tu and Lu Tam Tu calculated carefully, eating briefly, holding briefly, just for a few positions that could bribe the members of the Fossil Alliance beneficial for the future. But these peaches have been accelerated by him as a price to pay. Low-grade peach blossoms have been lost. As a man riding on a dragon horse, suddenly feels the miraculous sensation of life rushing through his body like a dragon. Facing the glittering light, as if ascending or being baptized. After a while, Tan Hao also stepped out. Returning to the main topic of forming the alliance, the owner has been established. We plan to organize a grand ceremony at the Tong Thien Tin. After a light laugh, Du Tu Nok is only interested in becoming the alliance leader. But he reminded that the 10,000 feet alliance was established to confront the void, so the connection must be tight. Tranglong Lahan officially added that we are currently discussing the divine battle and about it. The Buddha has clearly shown that it can establish near the Buddhist area, listening silently. Hua Lak Tu also appeared somewhat sacred, smiling faintly, not clearly visible, and at this time, the divine clan from the side also spoke up. Great Lord Love King, we, the divine clan, are willing to establish a great transmission battle near the divine image region, but the request of the new divine king is that this great transmission battle can only be used for blinded purposes. Hearing this, Hua Lak Tu also nodded, of course it is. But for him, time care is not really meaningful, but it is really to expand his arms. A great transmission battle, of course, needs guards capable of building a town to maintain. Arranging servants gently to the extreme. But for him, the back time belt is not really traditional timekeeping, but truly to extend the emotional hand. A large-scale transmission battle naturally requires guards, and at that time, it may be necessary to establish a defensive stronghold, otherwise, arranging simple human resources to the extreme. Until our righteous path is eternal, until a day when everything becomes worthless to harvest. Thinking about it, looking at a veteran warrior full of scars, Y2Du also bid farewell to them. Just as he ended his life. This powerful image gradually dissipates into the air, and Long Han's tears on his face cannot help but mutter how I did not recognize the scene of the Demon King leaving. It's just at that moment he was surprised that it seemed like there was a time when he did not appear. Perhaps due to the fierce battle of the past Demon King. Because of that, leaving a scar on him. Hearing his answer, he nodded and sighed. This Void Lord is truly terrifying, even the owner cannot control it. But this suspicion itself has forced Nhi Trong to speak up, but after a while of hesitation, he finally said things that the owner of the house did not want to say. It's just that he felt the need to tell the others some things and hoped that the others would not disclose this. When my master returned after being injured, he said that the Void Lord had reached the limit in the battle he personally participated in. With the terrifying talent of that person, there might be a breakthrough. Other races were curious and confused about this. This has been strong enough, so please don't worry. It's just a guess. I only said that after hearing everyone discuss this issue. In that rare moment of comfort, Hong Hu's golden eyes sparkled with a smile, enjoying the playfulness among the truly interesting walls. A man gave a leaf to a girl, but to his surprise, she was not angry, she even liked it very much. While Kong Niu was playing with everyone from a distance, another image also caught Y2Du's eye. He did not expect him to play such a game and naturally followed his lead. Not far away, under the cinnamon tree, Kong Niu also said a sentence. Kong Niu is always very clever. After finishing the moonbox drawing ceremony, Wei Kei also stepped out from inside the tree, and in the next moment, a girl as round as the moon appeared before Kong Niu. This image made his lips curve up as if the owner was no longer far away. Wei Kei also smiled and thanked the owner for his care. The gaze between Y2Du and Wei Kei. There was a bit of admiration. It's the divine tree of the heavens and earth, the Buddha tree of the Buddhist door, but no less, not dead like the Buddha tree. Not dead, and the owner has no claws, with the talent of heaven's fate, not dead, not destroyed. Contemplating quietly, the evaluation hidden in the eyes is really good. Such power combined with the Tayam Ton formation, there's no problem if it's said to be the owner. Thinking about that, Y2Du also raised his hand with a peach in it, and the leaves fell towards the Buddha tree. In sudden wonder, he also opened his eyes wide to sense the inexplicable. Along with that, there are many mysteries in the past that have a deep meaning. The Buddha fruit grows on the divine peach tree. Just like the Buddha leaf on the Buddha tree, this jewelry item is very precious to the owner. After speaking, Gai Kai's hands were not slow. In one turn, he held two treasures in his hands. Finally, there's no need for formalities. Y2Du emphasized that if you use it all, remember to find me again. In a subtle gesture, the Buddha tree also seemed a bit surprised. The owner took the Buddha tree, of course not. The Buddhist door with us, the fairyland behind is not bad either. I have never acted against the Buddhist door. After speaking, Y2Do turned and said he would go cultivate. After disappearing, the Buddha tree didn't die, his image gradually fading from the earth and sky. And at that moment, in the depth of space-time, a divine tree that could cover the sky had rooted itself between heaven and earth. His gaze focused on the flowing feast. A leaf could lead astray, however, under the sky, there was still another divine tree, and the Buddha tree whispered with equal power. Y2Do has truly changed his name. The Tree of Enlightenment, this legendary divine tree possesses unimaginable power, even more mysterious than the Buddha tree. But Y2Do heard that the Buddha tree and the Tree of Enlightenment are one. However, in the past, there was a great power. Using divine power to divide one into two, turning into two. The Buddha tree, nurtured by the Buddhist door for thousands of years, gradually understood the nature of the Buddha within the Buddha, while the enlightened tree disappeared from the world. Very hard to find miraculous understanding. It's just that sometimes you hear someone has the Tree of Enlightenment. It can even turn into a fairy. Y2Do's eyes blinked as he looked at the Buddha leaf, his eyes constantly flashing. If this story is true, it is overwhelming, and he begins to reason once again. The big tree began to think of mysterious ideas again, but was suddenly punched by heaven and earth. The mermaid woman was very hopeful. If she could truly transform into the Tree of Enlightenment, she feared even the fairyland behind would change. In short, a Tree of Enlightenment. Capable of creating a number, even a number of rulers. Although there are countless talents of Ma Din in the sky and on the ground, there are the strongest generals, but can these talents truly become rulers in the future? Y2Do doesn't know how many people. Like Neuma, although working diligently, in terms of talent and natural ability, it cannot be considered outstanding. If there is an understanding of Taoist magic, it can be different. He would rather accept death than become a ruler. Only when he becomes a ruler will he not worry for tens of thousands of years. Even a million years, not worrying about entrusting loyal people like us. How could I not think about you after speaking? He also fell into contemplation about Tao, but didn't know why Taoist magic was so terrifying. This analysis was very difficult this time. Time passed slowly, space had gone through decades. His body had changed significantly, and the bark of the giant tree was also changing color, expanding in different directions. Now he was sure. The divine tree and the Bodhi tree with the same origin, he focused on the Tao fruit, one leaf, one fruit. Both were born to understand the Tao. The relationship between these two things was very close, but in the process of change, a sudden thunderous sound made women want to go crazy. A terrifying lightning strike fell from above and struck the divine tree. With his talent, he drew the Taoist magic to go against fate. However, just in the next moment, another terrible thunder fell. Shrouded in the body under the night sky, there was a tree that may have been born. After speaking, he stopped reasoning. If the sky had a secret doctrine, then at this moment, he was truly resisting fate. It was just at this moment that his eyes flickered gently. Looking at the lightning dissipating in the sky, the eyes continued to sparkle, and the entity he transformed into a mysterious love was all dark. Vaguely visible, one could see the flames. Outside the sky, there was nothing else but intent. I couldn't think of a second possibility, not wanting to attract his attention. The eyes in the sky saw Y2Do smile. For this sudden attack, he didn't care too much. Although the transformation into the doctrine was interrupted at the most crucial moment, it was not without benefits. His mouth formed a smile, and he even felt sympathetic. The night sky disappeared like a newborn baby facing danger. There was an innate worry and fear. The woman smiled inside, already guessed a part. That was surely the doctrine, right? Objects without owners, only destined souls could understand. Indeed, losing a small object to gain a larger one, compared to transforming into a divine tree, finding a real tree was the best. And under that night sky, a very desolate planet had a divine tree of jade. But just like realizing something, countless branches trembled as if they were afraid of something. People coming, that lovely consciousness exclaimed. He felt horrified when a strong person from the galaxy came just to take a tree. This made the protector spirit a little angry. A stunned sentence followed by another. Truly seeing under the tree, there were spirit beasts holding a stone in their hands, even though they were only level 5. The power of the divine tree had begun to appear, which could cover hundreds of miles, sinking into the Tao. The closer, the deeper the state. Therefore, at the center of the giant tree, a pyramid with dozens of spirit beasts on each side was built. 4 of them were protectors, and 4 were waiting. After a question, a spirit beast with all 4 legs knelt down, their whole body burning red, was standing up. Suddenly, the divine tree vibrated voluntarily in response to Hua Qi Lan. As someone strong approaches, his countenance suddenly changes, becoming even more powerful. How could someone be so strong? If the secret of the martial sect were to be discovered, it wouldn't be pleasant. Please keep the secret of the sect. If we fail to attract the truly strong, I fear we won't be able to protect her anymore. The strong one is seeking me, currently traversing through space. His reactions are becoming more powerful. Quietly listen and behold the figure standing there. The fire unicorn knows that trouble is brewing, a bit of determination flaring in his eyes. Surely, we will protect her to the end. The flower of fire is burning within his body. That tiny human is becoming formidable. It's just the right time for growth in the distant space. A blurry figure with a hint of the martial sect's flavor in his gaze, he proceeds forward with an elegant smile. And in the next moment, the figure of Yu Tu Yu appears in the strange space. His eyes slightly scanning, he sees the giant divine tree surrounded by mountains, causing discomfort. The tree, with endless colors, large branches and beautiful leaves, in Yu Tu Yu's attentive gaze notices the significant disturbance around the divine tree. Yu Tu Yu moves forward with the elemental spirit, feeling the sky darkening a bit. A hornless snake falls, but perhaps the deepest awareness belongs to the martial sect and the fire unicorn. This kick is truly too powerful, falling towards them, the heavens and the earth seemingly unable to bear it, large cracks continuously breaking open, protecting the divine tree. And in this moment, a loud bang resounds. A miraculous light pierces the sky, reviving spirits for decades, suddenly illuminating everyone. Those strong can feel something, but Nu Tu Vu doesn't care. His figure approaches the divine tree, his eyes staring at the dominant light. The pillar of divine light ascends, the mystery for decades exploding in an instant. One strong after another notices, but Kon Nu doesn't care. His image nears the giant tree, gazing at the protective light in the sky. And not far from the divine tree, some spiritual beasts gaze attentively at Kon Nu. Unfortunately, these beasts can't withstand the slight pressure. Upon evolution, they must lie down, enduring the possession of their bodies. The fire unicorn slowly rises, but a terrifying aura emanates, turning into a dreadful red flame surrounding him. In utter disbelief, the fire unicorn tries to look up, only to truly see that image. Initially a small bird studying the histories of other races, after bathing, transforms into a legendary phoenix. Upon hearing the phoenix tribe's leader, Fuang Huyan Gi Trong, although his heart leans towards the famed lineage of the demon emperor. Perhaps it was a deception. At this moment, during a high ascension, an illusory dark image appears in the sky, accompanied by a terrifying roar. The heavens and the earth turn black, the strong members of the phoenix tribe are all curious. Amidst this curiosity, they wonder what lineage, what dark power could come to such an extent. It's hard to believe that the sacred phoenix can possess. At this moment, in the image of the phoenix, one can still see falling feathers trailing behind the stars. The eyes of an old phoenix general gaze intently at the illusory image of a crown atop. It cannot be the extremely dark demon emperor. The legendary phoenix is unlike the ordinary phoenix. It is a sacred power from ancient times, the connection point of all spirits. In our red phoenix family, he is suitable for strong bloodlines like the five-color phoenix, and compared to the other strong bloodlines, the dark spirit phoenix is even more mysterious and frightening. Listen silently. Many strong people in the red phoenix family could not help but admire when an outsider woke up such a bloodline. How could it be? And now, as the wings opened, the terrifying momentum became clearer, accompanied by the black flames constantly flickered, clearly flames but not hot and oppressive. This seemed to come from ancient times, causing the Phoenix family chieftains to feel pressure. Shortly after, not long after, Nu Tu Nu was still chatting with Meng Huyan Kai Long, also receiving news that revealed joy in the hidden words. A clear Dao-loving Phoenix bloodline awakening. Indeed, as he speculated, the Neep Phone Tri-Phoenix clan towards him was a moment of creation. Taking a deep breath, lowering the pressure on the pounding heart, he also bid farewell to Rong Huyanao. My sister, for now, has a key that needs to take a trip. With a loud noise, his body turned into countless copies heading towards the sky mirror. Time passed slowly, just in the blink of an eye. Several days had passed, and within the Red Phoenix family, every strong person when sacrificing in the funeral could not help but bow gently. Vu Tu Du's eyes looked towards the strong Phoenix family. This was his first time visiting the Phoenix family. Although the feeling was not bad, the phoenix spread its wings in the sky, but his eyes fell on the Nitrong not far away. Oh, truly admirable. In our Red Phoenix family, we do not have many bloodlines like this. But your family right from the first step into the Nipfu awakened a bloodline like no other. Love Phoenix is the commander of the Tronghua army of the Yu family. How did you come to this position today? His eyes were like a blood reservoir. A light laughter came from a phoenix with folded wings. The fish and the carp looked at the new scene with some praise. And at that moment, a loud call came from this black phoenix, suddenly flapping its wings. The little bird nurtured by the man suddenly turned into a phoenix, but he never expected that he would give this phoenix to someone else. In a strong call, the sky became a shore, and then darkness enveloped, not ordinary darkness. Love Phoenix pointed to a higher bloodline. This pressure seemed unbearable, causing tens of thousands of birds flying and crying to fall. The emotional woman raised her arms, lifting all the flying birds, then in an emotional sound, tens of thousands of avian species looked towards the black bird. But they also noticed that this giant bird not only had a pair of wings. Up to 8 pairs of jet black wings spread across the sky, turning into a dark rain. And this was a capability of the dark spirit phoenix. Each bird feather carried the power of extending the realm. The status of the dark spirit phoenix. A half-primordial lord, originally the primal spirit under the sky, was one of the most basic forces of the universe that could control the emotions and spirits of mankind. After looking intently, the fish woman could not help but frown. No less than the blue dragon in the past, right now, with a respectful tone, 8 billion seconds had come next to him. Gently rounded, the fish woman also praised, not bad at all, not disappointing me. I don't know yet, thank you. If they don't agree, you will find it difficult to enter the Nipfu. Nipfu is the owner of the Nipfu. After mobilizing the body, looking at many strong people in the Red Phoenix family, he thanked Yu Fuang here for the great grace. There will be repayment in the future. Love Phoenix will surely fulfill it. Listening quietly, each senior of the Phoenix clan, their faces showed a strange look. With just 4 simple words, Yu Fuang had revealed his current identity. Although the bloodline had awakened, he was still a person of Yu Din. This made the elders of the Phoenix clan surprised. Could it be that they had thought of something as senior of the Phoenix clan also stepped out of the position of moral doctrine? Why should they avoid each other like this? You have awakened the bloodline of the King of Love Shadows, if it comes to nobility. Enough to be ranked in the top 5 of the Phoenix clan. We should call you a great man, right? The senior of the Phoenix clan Hua Lak suggested the Nature clan had an extreme encounter with the Dark Shadow army. In a moment of silence, the face of the Love Phoenix also had a bit of a change. The owner still remained by his side. Gradually exchanging, and if possible, try to become a senior of the Phoenix clan. With your awakened bloodline, I believe that the people of the Phoenix clan will not want to let you go. Can this really be done? The master's heart is hard to understand, and there was a slight hesitation. Suddenly it can be said that the Phoenix clan is still suitable for you. Yu Tin, in the end, did not have the heritage suitable for you. On the tilted boat, the corner of his mouth twitched up a bit. For Nu Tu Nu, it was not without benefits. Kwang Min, the great general, arranged at the Phoenix clan, our bloodline is noble and awake, so congratulations. Please come to the Phoenix clan to talk to Love Phoenix. At this moment, a clear voice sounded, asking Nu Tu Nu to follow the instructions of this senior into the depths of the Phoenix clan, which was normally reluctant to die. Just like a willow root that wanted to die, but for a seed, it suddenly died, giving a primitive difficulty that was hard to obtain. Du Tu Du was also waiting at the Phoenix clan for over 10 days. The enthusiasm of the Nitrong could not be refused. It was just on the day of departure. The corner of his mouth upturned a bit, looking at the flames in the palm of his hand. The seed of the 1,000 pine tree, a minute ago, was just a dead seed, now showed signs of resurrection. Just needing a sign of resurrection. I will ensure that you truly revive. Saying that the constantly sparkling eyes may be something that others cannot do, but for NGU to NGU, this is the existence of the number domain. At that time, the smiling heart, Yu Yujun, also seemed a bit surprised. He turns into a red guardian and right after leaving at the deepest place of the small world, a slender figure appears amidst a strange event. Countless powerful people of the small world all respect and call. The soul finger lightly takes a step towards the world of fire. The world of fire, one of the 9 realms, and in the sky, there is a sun shining. He steps forward, walking in the sky towards where it melts. The fireball never goes out, with a size equal to half of the moon, countless flames erupt, and these flames have the extension of the spiritual fire. even with many types of spiritual fire. The corner of the mouth slightly raised, Nu Tu Ka also holds a seed in her hand, seeming to have discovered something. This seed suddenly emits a terrifying sharpness, only hearing a loud noise. Countless flames pour towards the seed of the Bak Thong Thien tree. At this moment, the fire turns into a stone dragon in an instant. Hundreds of thousands of miles are all affected. What makes NGU concerned is that this is not enough to revive the Bak Thong Thien tree. Even with the natural pool of the Phoenix clan that makes it revive a bit of life, it is still a dead seed. But in the sudden explosion, behind his body, a blurry world appears in the sky. Right in the middle of space and time. A majestic ancient tree shading the sky, surrounded by swirling clouds and stars. The divine tree stands silently today, offering us a ray of hope, helping you truly come back to life. The roar of the tiger then echoes.